Now, pour the tea.
Hey y'all!
Hello, hello, hello.
LOL. Welcome to our next edition of Pour the Tea.
Episode 2, Season 1.
Charles, I was about to say, we doing this seasons?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. But no, in all seriousness, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all from jump. I'm tired. We're both tired.
Yeah.
So, just be prepared accordingly, okay?
It's going to be unfiltered.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling y'all, when I get tired, I don't care.
We're unfiltered.
It's a dangerous combination.
It really is. And then it's two of
Y'all
us.
seen how we cut up
When we're
normal.
not. When we're normal. Just now we're sleepy and not normal? Abnormal?
Ish.
Okay. All right. Well, now you know. It's like, giving you fair advance warning.
So, yeah. Let's go on and just hop right on into it. The state of the women's division for WWE.
We could talk about Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I feel like we've done across the board.
I mean, where do we want to start?
Let's start with Rhea and Becky.
Oh, good segue.
Rhea and Becky, Lord.
Because first of all, if we're going to discuss Rhea, we probably should begin with how did she get there in the first place. And so, everybody at this stage, I think, has had enough time to talk about Elimination Chamber. So,
Absolutely.
I think it's time to chat about the current champion, and that is Rhea Ripley and her match with Nia Jax.
Let's do it.
All I'm going to say is she got a good... Well, first of all, I love the render. Second of all, she was in Australia, not Austria. That was true.
That was true.
Third of all, she did the damn thing, and Nia's been knocking down everybody left and right, up and down, back and forth. But clearly, she did not knock out Rhea. So I feel like Rhea game planned. I feel like Rhea looked at past. I feel like she did the whole football mentality. College football, NFL. I'm gonna look at all the information I can on you, figure you out, get you pieced together. I'm going to do my research. There's no way. You think you can stop me? I'm gonna let you think you can stop me. But in all actuality, clearly she did not stop her. Clearly she did not take that title. And it's still where it needs to be right now. And as much as I've said I don't feel like she's defended it, let me go ahead and reverse that comment, because at this point, she literally took out what I felt like could have been the biggest threat.
Absolutely.
To her.
Literally and figured. Alyssa, shut up.
But at this point, I wish I hadn't caught that. Either way, she took out the biggest threat to her title, and exactly what it is. It's her title. And Nia, as much as she talked and talked and talked, it did not come home with you. I'm so sorry.
All I've said is she made it to Australia.
Yeah.
And she said she wasn't going to, so that was a tough little angle right there. In all seriousness, though, I love the fact that they were able to make Rhea as dominant of a champion as she has been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the fact that they were able to twist it and make it look like she was an underdog coming into her own country's match. Or into her own match in her home country, and still being able to pull it off and, like, prove that she doesn't have a glass chin. Because I think that's one of the things that we had to think about, or I don't want to say one of the possibilities, just because, she's been dominant. Like, before she held the title, that girl it was, like, easy to choose. Like, who are you going to take? Unless that person's name is, like, Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Rhea. And it's not even close. Like, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I could be in my sleep and be like, and be done with it. Like, it's not even that hard. Like, but like now, when she came into her championship, I feel like we didn't see as much, I don't want to say as much, like, competition against her, but I just feel like for a long time, it was kind of like, okay, well, who's she really facing, Like, you can go back in our videos and you can hear us saying, like, I mean, with all due respect, like, who challenged her? Who did she go up against? And, like, that's no disrespect to the women that she faced at the beginning of her run, but, it wasn't stiff competition. But now she's getting put into things where it's like, okay, at this point we are kind of forced to be like, all right, this girl is somebody to be reckoned with. Like, this ain't a game no more. Winning her 5-way match when she had to face 4 other competitors and still had to make sure she made it out. Her going up against Nia Jax, that wasn't a simple task. In her home country, adding that extra pressure of her family being right there in the front row. Like, she did her thing. And you've got to give her props for that.
Kudos, props, snaps,
Good
claps.
for you, girl.
And I feel like it's the perfect segue because, Rhea has been dominant, but let's just take a minute to exactly remember just how dominant Rhea is as we get ready to move into Mania.
Everyone has an agenda. They set goals and they talk about how they're going to become the next big thing, the next icon, the next champion.
All of us are just empty pages.
They're rats, desperately trying to control their little worlds. I simply show them how pathetic their attempts at control really are.
No redemptions!
You can call me the villain, but all I've ever done is refuse to fall in line. I will not wait my turn. I will not accept the established order. The food chain has been toppled, and I stand above all. I am the Eradicator. I am brutality. I am Rhea Ripley.
So instead of putting Rhea Bloody Ripley, we are gonna put Rhea the Eradicator Ripley, because at this point she's taking out people left and right, including Nia Jax. She's sitting here and Becky made her comment saying, "I'm gonna let you see how it feels to have me on top instead of Mammy on top," or whatever. I was like,
she says it. Oh,
I don't know. I mean, Becky is tough. Don't get me wrong. She has had to put in her time, her years, and everything, and she's shown.
Absolutely.
She's shown, and the funny thing is, she's gotten her. I feel like she has gotten her the man status because of Nia Jax. So let's not exclude the fact that Nia Jax gave her that punch a couple of years back, busted up her nose. She didn't have no remembrance of that third, and she's gone on to be the man. She's taken over. She's did what she's gone away, had a baby, has come back, looks better than ever. She is literally, at this point, I feel like she went from having a baby, coming back, and just getting back into where she was meant to be. So I feel like this was nothing but a thing for her.
Yeah.
So now you have to look at it from the perspective, Rhea has had to step out of the shadows of Charlotte, which she's done, and now she's having to face Charlotte's ex-best friend or best friend or however they want to communicate, Becky, to see who is really the toughest. And at this point, I feel like out of the 3 women you said, Becky, Bianca, and Rhea, nothing against the rest of the women in the division. When you talk about women's division, these are the 3 names that you're going to bring to the forefront. Yeah. Let's not forget Bayley, because Bayley, I feel like she's in there, but I feel like she is kind of underneath. But it is what it is.
Well, I think that's a good segue into the other side of it. You've mentioned talking about Rhea and talking about Becky, and I believe a worthy main event level caliber match for WrestleMania, but
Absolutely.
It's also fair to mention this is the state of the women's division as well, that you needed to talk about the 5 other women that were in that Elimination Chamber match that Becky had to beat to get to Rhea.
Oh, absolutely.
So first of all, it was Liv, and we already made our feelings known on that one. Raquel, and I feel like we've kind of made our feelings known on that one. Naomi, welcome back. Becky, we know you're gonna get there. You're gonna do what you gotta do. Bianca, I was kind of upset with that, because that Bianca was honestly my pick. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the fact that the EST did not make it to where she needed to be to go up against Rhea for Mania, it just kind of puzzles me to how is she going to rethink her strategy at this point. Is she going to turn heel? Because I see it coming. It's just like it's off, on. And then you have Tiffany Stratton, who, let's go ahead and be for real. She held her own. She literally went in there and she did the damn thing, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts. She went in there and she did what she had to do, and she looked good doing it.
That girl,
I'm proud of her.
I think it honestly goes past holding her own. She looks like she's been there for years.
Yeah.
She looks like she's been doing this like the rest of these women. Like, honestly, me looking and watching the match from just barely waking up because it was that early in the morning. Honestly,
30.
I was like, oh yeah, that's Tiffany. Like, oh crud. And then I was like, oh crud, her door is open. Is she gonna be able to hold her own? And not only did she build on her performance from the Rumble, that girl came in there, showed up, showed out, and just said, yeah, it's Tiffy time. And you know what? There's no better way to get some... There's no better way to get people's respect than getting in the ring and actually showing that you have the talent. Because it's one thing to sit there and, like, talk the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Be over there, it's my world, it's Tiffy's universe, all that junk. Like, it's one thing to be able to talk your mess, but it's another thing to get in the ring and really, like, show what you've learned, how you have developed. Because I saw a TikTok the other day showing her first match with her against Fallon Henley, and she started doing her little, like, how she does now, how she'll do, like, gymnastics moves in the ring.
Yeah.
But she was off. She'd be off a step and she'd have to jump at her. And just watching how flawless she performs in the ring now, it's like, dang, like, she really went down there, put her nose to the ground, and, you know, we made jokes about her doing that whole table thing when she was facing Becky, but Lord, she has figured it out.
But
I love that.
Let's go back to the whole table and the Becky thing. I feel like when Becky went to NXT and they had their fight, they had their one or two matches, I feel like Becky pretty much was prepping her for this moment.
Absolutely.
For prepping her for the Rumble, prepping her for this, prepping her for our Elimination Chamber. I feel like Becky inadvertently did what she had to do to prep Tiffany for this moment. And Tiffany looked good. She looked very, very good. And you're right, she did more than hold her own. She looked like she was meant to be there like the rest of these women. And
I stepped up, and I couldn't be prouder.
I was proud too. So good job, Tiffany.
She's absolutely made a fan out of me, at least. She's been able to do a fantastic job of, you know, like you said, going from a girl who a year ago just looked sloppy, you know, in the ring, and has gone to, I mean, to move main roster that quickly at only 24 years old.
She
is in an Elimination Chamber match and likely heading to WrestleMania, just a month after being in NXT.
She went from NXT to SmackDown to Rumble to Elimination Chamber. And to be honest, she was my pick for, I think, the last PLE that we had. And I couldn't believe I said that. So I said she's gonna be in it. She's gonna do her thing, and she did, and she's been doing it ever since. And I hope she keeps riding the wave. Honestly, to the other women, I don't know what to say because,
I mean, everybody. I feel like every woman who competed in that chamber match really held their own. I don't like the way it ended. I don't like the way. I don't like that Bianca got eliminated with a roll-up. I don't agree with that call, but I don't get paid to make that call, so hey.
But we'll be happy to throw in an application.
Swear to God. Like,
where can we send our resume?
Because I promise you I can write. But yeah, in all seriousness though, like, I don't agree with how it ended, but I saw it coming. I knew it would be Becky, I just didn't know how. But, I mean, all the women looked good. Honestly, both the Elimination Chamber matches were top notch. But the women's, especially bringing Tiffany out and her really, like, honestly, she stole the show for me.
Yeah.
Opening the show. She stole the show. When the Premium Live event ended, I was still talking about her. Like, she was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, dang, she really did really good after watching everything else. And we saw some great matches. Like, boy, some Match of the Year contenders came out of there for Ultra Awards. Like, but dang, I could not shut up about that girl. And normally I'm not really a fan of her, but again.
But I think she's putting in the work. She's come up to the main roster. She's putting in the work. She's doing what she needs to do. It is what she says. It's Tiffany time. She literally has stepped up to Bianca, stepped up to Naomi, slapped me around, stepped up to me. She stepped up to everybody that has been put in her way or that she has placed herself in front of. She has stepped up, and she is literally showing you, hey, I'm nothing to be messed with. I'm blonde, I might look small, I might look this and that, but you can't mess with me, and I'm not going to let you. So congratulations to that. And
all I'm going to say to conclude her part, because we have a lot of stuff to cover, is if she keeps up her path, if she keeps up her work ethic, if she keeps up that growth, I will not be surprised if she's not main eventing Mania soon.
Yeah.
Like,
there's already internal discussion about her right now probably being the front runner or a very strong favorite to win Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I wouldn't be shocked.
Here's the thing with that. I feel like it would be deserving if she keeps doing what she's doing. She keeps working.
I love somebody who comes in and does the work. You come in and you do the work, I have no problem getting behind you.
Respect
all the way.
I will put your respect on your name every day of the week.
Every single day. But all right. We got a lot of people to cover.
So I was going to say, now our other primary topic, of course, we've discussed one of the main events from the women's side for WrestleMania. But I think we do need to make sure we're giving our proper ire to the other side, and that is the SmackDown side and the WWE Women's Championship on the other side, which will be the Royal Rumble winner Bayley taking on the champion Io Sky with the implosion of Damage Control. Let's take a quick second to remember how we've gotten this far.
You guys done laughing? Watashi wa karayo. Yeah, that's Japanese. I picked that up from all the times you guys talked about me behind my back. You guys think I don't see all around me? Do you know how long I've been in the WWE? I've done it all. I've seen it all. You guys talk about me constantly. Why? All I wanted was for Damage Control to be the best. All I wanted was to take this to the top, to WrestleMania, and I wanted to do that together. But you guys see nothing in me, do you? Huh? Io, what happened? When me and Dakota started this, we were like this. Ever since they came around, you turned your back on me. What happened?
Oh my God! The Kabuki Warriors from behind, laying waste to the woman who was at one time the leader of Damage Control.
There has been a malignant stench inside Damage Control for some time, and it's coming to a head before our eyes. Founder of Damage Control battered. Ooh.
Wade, look at Bayley just grab from under the ring.
Well, Bayley's no dummy, I assure you of that.
Oh my God! Bayley's got a pipe! Bayley must have known this was gonna happen!
The ultimate equalizer.
And about that announcement, Io, I'll see you at WrestleMania.
Well, talk about a 180, Corey.
From suffering the ultimate betrayal by the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky, Bayley once again has called her shot. Bayley will challenge Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania.
Golly.
So that in itself is a lot to unpack. let's go ahead and go back to when Bayley first formed Damage Control, and it was at the time that wasn't it?
2 years ago at SummerSlam.
That's exactly it. Excuse me, my memory's bad. I'm getting old. 2 years ago at SummerSlam, and it's like that was a shock. That was a surprise because you have to think who had just fought. Yeah. Becky and Bianca. Again, there are those two names. Becky and Bianca had just fought. Becky was on her way out. Bianca was getting her roses. And out of nowhere, Becky's gone. Bianca has the stage. To that, we're sitting in the crowd, and all I hear is music playing. Yeah, and I'm like, yes, Bayley's coming back. Because you have to think, I wasn't really huge on Bayley. I wasn't a huge Bayley fan until she turned heel. So, and then to see...
He is over there like that. I'm over there like, is she going to have pyro? Steven, is she going to have pyro? No. That's me.
No, for real. I was, let me put it like this. I was excited for when I saw Bayley and heard her music, but I think I was more emotionally invested when I saw Dakota and I saw Io, and I was like, ooh, they have literally moved up from NXT to main roster. And what better person to put them under to navigate them through their careers in the main roster on the side they needed to be on. I was thrilled. I was excited. I was stoked, and I was also emotionally invested. So I feel like I ran all the emotions while Alyssa was over here trying to cover her ears, prepare
trying
for the
to figure out if I was gonna have to fight with my life for some pyro. Okay.
But with all respect, Bayley's right. When they started this group, it was them, and then they were at the top. They got their own entrance theme. They had their own music. They were matching. The gears were matching. Everything was going strong, and then out of nowhere, it's just like Asuka, starts taking place and getting in her head. I feel like they were talking and getting in her head, Io's head, and then you have Kairi, who's returning, who got in her head. And I feel like at that point, the fact that you have Bayley, Bayley is no dummy. Bayley's been around for a minute. Bayley has done everything and seen everywhere and been everywhere. And so for her to pop out that bit of Japanese, like just saying, I know you were talking about me. I know the translation. That should have said, by looking at their face, that should have said all you needed to know. Right there. You've been talking about me behind my back.
Quit taking a bath on camera.
You've been talking about me behind my back like I didn't see it, like I didn't know. And the fact that you've been doing that and expecting me not to understand and pick up a couple of words, like, are you serious?
Do you think I'm a dummy?
Clearly, I feel like for that, I feel like I've never, I don't. And ask Steven, ask Steven, ask Alyssa, ask anybody. I am a huge Io fan, but at this present moment, not so much. I never would have thought I heard myself say, I'm pulling for Bayley at Mania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what's your 2 cents and what's your take on everything cultivated?
I think this one will be well worth the wait.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my stinks went off as soon as Asuka got... I left the first part out. You're welcome.
Thank goodness. We don't want to get canceled that quick. It's only episode 2.
But yeah, my stinks went off, and I was just watching with Key. I was like, girl, she finna turn. She said, so what are you talking about? I said, they over there speaking in their language. Everybody know. When you start hearing hens cackling, they speaking in their language.
No, for real.
And then sure enough, we fast forwarded and then, I said, oh.
No, she didn't. Okay.
Ain't this crazy?
And I'm like, nah, that can't be. Alyssa's like, yeah, girl, look, go ahead and just take a look.
My stinks. So, I mean, I feel like it's been fine storytelling, or storytelling at its finest, you know? It's been, it's kind of been like the Judgment Day, you have one person found it, somebody who's able to mentor, somebody who's able to kind of guide you through, teach you the lessons that you need to know. Are you done?
Just slide over to the
side.
side.
Over here taking a bath.
But
we are on camera.
But let's not.
Son. He's just going crazy right now.
You claimed him as your child. He just now everybody heard it.
The Lulu is a Salulu. I don't even know who this is. That's wild.
That's a lie. So,
but anyway,
what about now? But what about Dakota?
Yeah, we all know her ass from the turn too. Don't play with her. I remember my first NXT days when she went in and turned on Raquel. I don't trust that girl.
She turned on Raquel and she turned on Tegan, who was supposed to be her best friend. So we're kind of already seeing the signs.
Yeah.
But the fact that we didn't see who attacked her, that's it.
Carmelo. It was Carmelo.
Oh my God! Don't do the brother like that. Don't do the brother like that. So the fact,
Now, one thing I would want to throw in here, just so y'all can give your 2 cents on this, I feel like there's a little bit of disrespect towards this Bayley-Io match that's coming up at WrestleMania, because everybody wants to talk about, well, what's going to be the main event, the last match of the night. No one is saying Bayley and Io should main event over Rhea and Becky, and yet Bayley won the Royal Rumble. She won the right to what is supposed to be get a championship main event match for a title of her choosing at WrestleMania. So it is curious to get your opinion as to why they're not giving this match a little more respect than maybe it should be, than it's honestly getting.
I feel like they haven't given Bayley the respect. She is owed a press conference, some new merch. I feel like everybody else is getting the respect.
They kept her off the advertising poster for WrestleMania up until about really yesterday morning. They had Io, they had Rhea, they had Becky, they had Bianca. She's not even has a match yet.
I feel like that's disrespectful to Bayley, and I get it. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan until she turned heel, and then I got behind her, and now more so over Io. But the fact that you haven't given her her flowers, her roses, she went in, she won the Rumble, she did what she had to do, and now she's having to go up against someone who's literally turned her back on her for her own people. And then the whole Coda situation, that's a whole nother can of worms right there. We can't even get into that, but go ahead, Alyssa. Try to get into it, try to unpack it.
I would just say, watch your back. History oftentimes repeats itself, so don't be a dummy here. That's what I'm going to say.
But Bayley has been through this enough times, though. She knows full well that, she's watched Io's done it. Sasha did it back in the day. It's not the first time that she's watched as a friend or colleague, of her side, has turned her back. So, I think Bayley's more than ready.
And here's how I can tell you that girl is ready, because clearly Bayley is no dummy and she's been around. You saw when she got knocked down, kicked down, punched down, knocked out, dragged out, what she picked up from the corner, right? We saw, y'all might say it's a pipe or a stick. I feel like that was a kendo stick, and I feel like she did what she... I feel like she did what she needed to do to get her point across, and then once she was able to catch her breath and get everything back into perspective, it's like, oh, and by the way, that announcement, I will see you at Mania.
And I feel like
at this point, give me a Bayley shirt.
I feel like at this point they're just gonna let it stew. I don't think he has to have all the hype. The story's there. The story's written. It doesn't have to have all the hype that everybody else has to. Because some of these matches that are getting hyped up are kind of random. So I feel like this one's one that can just kind of marinate in the back like this steak I had for dinner. And we're going to be...
Good Lord.
What?
She's in her office.
Did it have the right amount of crunch?
No, it didn't have the right amount of crunch. It didn't need to have the right amount of crunch.
Okay,
it had the right amount of flavor.
Oh, that's good enough.
The right amount of taste.
That's good enough. Got that.
Delish.
Yum.
Wrapping things up on this subject, because I know you said you wanted to keep it to around 30 minutes, and that's where we're closing in on it here in just a couple of minutes. But one thing that we can go ahead and mention, and spoiler for anyone that didn't watch NXT. All right, you had a chance to get away now. The team of Lyra Valkyria, the NXT Women's Champion, and Tatum Paxley are going to battle the Kabuki Warriors at Roadblock next week for the women's tag team titles. In your opinion, give your thoughts on that match, as well as which storyline do you think this is more benefiting? Do you think it's benefiting Lyra's run towards Stand and Deliver? Or do you think that this could be something where Bayley might be able to get that first salvo, by costing the Kabuki Warriors the titles and to an NXT team nonetheless?
I feel like Bayley is going to do what she needs to do. I feel like she's been screwed, so she's going to do the same thing that they're doing to her, and I feel like she's going to get off that first shot, pew pew, she's going to get off that salvo, and it's going to be like, oh, you thought you could get one over on me? Guess what? I got you. And guess what? Now those titles that y'all claimed to had held and had them, they're now with an NXT team, and it's a weird pairing too. You got one who's overly excited about like what I feel like is her best friend, you know, more so her best friend than anything, and she's just like up over the top. But the fact that Tatum held her word and didn't say nothing and didn't come out and do what she did what she was supposed to do. I felt like that surprise was well worth it and well warranted, and I honestly feel like I'm excited to see where this story goes.
Honestly, I think it'll be beneficial for both sides, just because it can bring that recognition back down for NXT.
That's true.
It'll kind of put NXT back on the map because, you know, we've had, since they've combined the tag team titles, it hasn't been on NXT. It's been on the main roster. It's been kind of bouncing around over there, being relevant, not being relevant, you know, whatever you want to argue. And I think it'll be a good chance for them to bring it back down to NXT, bring it back to kind of like somewhere where it could be defended more like...
Well, establish all these new women that are in the division. You know, you just had the big story with... Well, you just had the big story with like Braun and Baron, you know, winning the tag titles, and now you're adding in Chase U. You know, Don's going for the NXT title now, so that kind of ends Don and Stax' story.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got... You know, Kaylani Jordan and, you know, whomever she's pairing with. You've got Kiana and Izzy Dame. You've got Gigi looking for partners. You've got Roxanne, you know, kind of going off on her own little tear.
If that's the case, since we're talking about the women's division and the titles, why not pair Rizzo with someone, maybe JC Jane or something? I don't know. I mean, pair her with someone so she can actually be in the title picture too. Nothing against like Stax and the Dawn, but I feel like everybody's kind of, they're gonna still be family, even though I feel like they might. It looks like the start of going their separate ways. But Lady Rizzo, put her with someone that could actually, you know, match her energy, match her shine, and yeah, technically teach her and let her go for those titles too. I mean, you got it over there. You got the men literally, you know, salivating for who's gonna take those titles. Why not do the same for the women?
I agree.
Well, either way, I mean, there's still a lot of things to go through. You got Roadblock coming up next week.
Excited.
And we're moving into WrestleMania season, just a hair over a month. You know,
and it's
before
in
we head to
Philly.
Yep. So kind of a hometown feel for you, Kia.
Yep, again.
But either way, that's your 30. You said you wanted to keep it to that. We'll figure out another topic and try to get this more on schedule. You know, we're going to do our best, but work kind of getting in the way.
We just had a lot going on.
Yeah, you got it. But ladies, conclude however you like.
I'm glad to be able to work with you, even though we're tired. I feel like it's unfiltered.
So
it's
tired.
raw.
I'm going to put a yawn meter on this video when I do the
Don't
edits to
even.
see how many
Don't-
times.
And you better not even zoom in either, because if I find out you've zoomed in, we gon' yeah. So either way, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get in the bed because we both have a busy day
Set
tomorrow, and we will see y'all
on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, pour the tea.